How are you, gentlemen? All your days are belong to us.
Hello everyone, just thought I would document this PC build that I've been working on for several years now actually. I mean, it hasn't been constant work for that long, but it has taken me some time sourcing all the parts and everything. Yeah, you get the idea. So this is a Windows XP 2004 era-ish computer. Now with Windows XP there is obviously a whole lot of different directions you could go, because that operating system was used for quite some time. This is kind of early Windows XP, and the idea behind the build was to do like an end of an era PC, in the sense that it's using a single core CPU and a native AGP graphics card. So the CPU inside is a Pentium 4 clocked at 3.8 GHz. That's the fastest clocked Pentium 4 that Intel released. If it's the best performing one, however, I'm not so sure about that, because Intel released like a limited edition, Extreme edition, or if it was Ultimate edition, I don't recall, clocked at a slightly lower rate. But yeah, probably better performing. Still, this is pretty good stuff. So the graphics card, it's a Nvidia GeForce 6800 GT with 256 megabytes of video memory. Pretty top of the line for 2004. Not the absolute best native AGP card that you could use. I would probably suggest using the Radeon card, the 850 XT or whatever instead, if you can find it. But yeah, this is pretty decent still. By the way, I'm saying native AGP all the time, because there was a much later Radeon card that also used like the AGP Edge connector, but that was more like a PCI card with an interface adapter on board, so it's not really utilizing the AGP standard. But yeah, either way, it's pretty off scope year-wise. So the Sound Blaster inside of here, the sound card inside of here, it's a Sound Blaster Audigy 2ZS or 2Z5, I don't recall, manufactured in 2003. I could have gone with the later Creative X-Fi card, or if it's Xi-Fi, maybe. Yeah, but this is a pretty decent choice. I think it will do the job. I'm using an SSD, a modern SSD hard drive. That might be cheating to some. It certainly makes the experience less authentic. But I'm more interested in keeping my files safe and knowing that this build will last me for a longer period of time. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm using 2 gigs of RAM, nothing too exciting there. The motherboard here is a Asus P5V 800MX. It's using the LGA 775 socket. I could talk some more about the case here, because I'm using this for a particular reason, and that's because I had this case growing up. This was originally a Fujitsu Siemens Scaleo computer that you would buy right off a store, and it had Windows Me or Windows Millennium installed on it. I used that computer for a long time, and I installed like Windows 98 and later XP on it. So yeah, it holds a special place in my heart. This is not the exact same one, by the way, but I managed to track down the same model and everything, so I'm very excited about that. I've added my own case badges here, as you can see. That's why it says Pentium 4 and Windows XP. So yeah, I've added the DVD drives here, one floppy drive that I will be using for formatting Atari ST discs, and also a nifty little memory card reader. Those are always handy to use, and I have some old Windows XP software that I want to use when formatting memory cards, because I think they are easier to use than similar modern software. Okay, so I could talk some more about the cooling here. As you can see, I've added modern case fans here. It's Noctua fans, 6 of them actually, quite excessive. But yeah, these are pretty high-end components for their time, and they are known for getting quite hot. So you have to add cooling in some way. It will not be a silent system, but you can take measures to make it more silent. That's why I'm using Noctua. And I also have, by the way, a Be Quiet PSU inside of here, so that hopefully also helps. All of these fans, they are not speed controlled, so they use the same speed rate all the time. I have experienced some with the Noctua extension cords that limits the speed, just to see how low of a speed rate I can get away with without frying the system. We will talk some more about that maybe. Yeah, so the heatsink inside of here, I think it's a very good heatsink by Noctua. It's using regular chassis case fans. I unfortunately got a too large one at first. This is for 120mm fans. This case is a bit slimmer than your average ATX case that you use for building your own PC, unfortunately, so it didn't fit. I had to go down a notch. This is using 92mm fans instead. Works pretty good. The graphics card, as you already have noticed, I think, I've done my own solution here. When using this initially, I got a terrible grinding noise from the fans, and I didn't bother trying to re-lubricate it, re-lubricate the fans and everything. I just removed them entirely and added my own Noctua fans instead. They are not speed controlled, as I mentioned, so yeah, but they're pretty efficient at cooling this graphics card, I noticed, so I think it's a decent solution. But yeah, zip ties and hot glue, not ideal. It doesn't look that elegant, but yeah, it works for me. Something else maybe I can talk about. Yeah, I need to still find some PC speaker. I'm not really, right now I'm not into the idea of using like the piezo, the small PC speaker. I want to find like a cone speaker, but I don't have any hurry in getting a PC speaker. Alright, so the system is turned on. We're in the BIOS right now, and we have to leave it on for a while to get a feel of what kind of temperatures we're getting. The case is now shut, so that will impact the airflow in the system. Now we're not putting any stress to the system, so we certainly don't want it. We don't want the temperature to exceed 60 degrees Celsius. Ideally, we want to keep it around 50 or below that. So the system has been on now for a while, and the temperature is quite stable. We're getting around 50 at most. And for this particular Pentium 4, it's not rated for more than 70 degrees Celsius, so we want to keep it below that. Yeah, this looks promising. So I think we can move on. Alright, so we're in Windows XP right now. Okay, so speed fan is showing around 45-46 degrees Celsius. I think we'll put some stress into the system by using the classic Nalu demo that was, used to showcase the GeForce when it came out. yeah, here it is in all its glory. Still looks pretty good. It delivers brutish strength to render. I'm sure about that. Okay, so we could see a brief temperature at 51 degrees Celsius when we put some stress into the system, but it quickly went down. Yeah, I think this is a win.
You are on the way for this version. What you say?
Our sources believe the plague originated in